Mm-mm. Good morning, good morning, good morning, beloved. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Amen. Happy Worthy Wednesday. I pray all is well. I hope everything is going well. We're going to go ahead and start with our worship song, our praise song this morning. Since we're doing resting relaxation, since we have a special guest again, and we're still celebrating our Women's Month. Amen. I'm going to go ahead and I Am Light by India Ari. Facebook, you understand, I don't own the rights to this music being played whatsoever. I know that was beautiful, right? Something nice just to remind us how that we are light. We're not what people define us as we are. We're not who people think we are, but we are the light. Amen. Amen. I love it. Amen. So, beloved, happy Holy Week. Amen. This is also the week that we are remembering what Jesus is getting to on Friday on the cross. Amen. This is the week where we celebrated Palm Sunday on Sunday, and on today in Holy Week, we are known that this is the week that Jesus and disciples were washing their feet. Amen. He came to them to show them that reverence on how to wash the feet, on the significance of what it means to not just lead, but also to help those that you lead as well. Knowing that even though they were following Jesus, he was not above who they were. Amen. So that is what we're celebrating on this week. And on today, we shall remember that. So happy Holy Week. Happy Women's Month. This is the last day. Amen. We've been celebrating all month. So I hope you guys have been excited like I have. Amen. I thank all my guests that have been tuning in with me and been sharing little wisdoms and nuggets. I thank all of you for that because it's been amazing. I pray that you have been touched or inspired this whole month. Again, I thank you for all those who've been tuning in. As you see, I'm still celebrating my anniversary. Amen. So thank you for those who have sowed seeds, those for the gifts, for the accolades. I thank you so much. If it was not for God, I don't know where I would be. Amen. So we're going to do our morning affirmation this morning, beloved. And then we're going to go ahead and introduce our guest. Amen. So our morning affirmation that I pulled this morning says, I choose to learn through love. I choose to learn through love. I'm going to say that one more time for that to sink in on someone. I choose to learn through love. Let that be your affirmation for this morning. Ashe. So we're going to get in ready to introduce our guest. If you are on with us this morning, please feel free to drop a good morning in the chat or a comment. Amen. So we know that you're streaming with us this morning. If you have questions or comments you would like to make, please feel free to put them in the chat. I got different windows here and I'm paying attention. So I promise to get to you as well. So we're going to go ahead and bring my sister Queenlin on the screen, and then I'm going to go ahead and read her bio. So I'm going to add her. There we go. Good morning.
Hey, hey. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. I cannot complain on this Wednesday, middle of the week. We getting through it. We getting over that hump.
Sweet. Through it, boots. Okay. Good morning. So, of course, I'm going to read your bio, which is lovely, by the way. Sweet. And then I'm going to go ahead and, let the folks know how we know each other. Praise the Lord. And of course, I'm always excited to have one of my sisters on here. I'm always excited to do things with my sisters. Listen, we got to empower each other. We have to stick together,
That's
right? Right. So, Lindsay Howard, a.k.a. Queenlin, is a board-certified dance movement therapist, certified Kemet yoga teacher. Did I say that right? Kemetic. There we go. Praise the Lord. Kemetic yoga teacher, Thai yoga bodywork practitioner, and community herbalist. She is currently working with the DC Department of Behavioral Health and as a teaching artist in the community with DC Youth. In her work with Bodyverse LLC, she focused on a holistic lens of healing all parts of the individual in order to live well and at our highest potential to self. She is also the founder of the Healers of Liberation Network. At IG is Healers for Liberation Network. That's her IG. A collective of BIPOC. Is it BIPOC?
BIPOC.
BIPOC healers providing services to BIPOC activists, organizers, and movers in the movement for Black Lives DC. Come on, someone. Miss Howard is a big advocate for transformative justice and healing justice in Black and Brown communities and continues her activism on the streets, fighting for the freedom and liberation of all Black people in our world and continuum of the generations after. Woo, Jesus. Come on, that's deep. I love that. Without further ado, of course, I introduce to you this morning, beloved Harvesting Ministries, introduce Miss Queenlin. Welcome.
Thank you, love. I appreciate you.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me here.
Yes,
this
of
is
course.
beautiful.
Thank you for getting up early. Sweet. I appreciate that and I love that. So thank you for that. Thank you for all that you do, of course, and you're going to continue doing. So I would like to say that I met Miss Queenlin through our sister circle that Catherine and I and Andrea do together. But me and Catherine had a retreat last November. Women's Veterans. Actually, I met her before that. But I actually got to get in her session in November because when I first met her, it was all booked. I was like, dang. I said, I can't get no queen, no yoga, no nothing. So when I was able to see her again, I was so excited. But she just was so welcoming and her energy was just so full of love and life. I was just like, yes, I love it. To meet another Black queen like that, it just felt amazing. And just like all my other sisters in our circle, when we meet, it just feels like we know each other like forever. Like, hey girl, like what you need? Okay. It don't even feel like we not just mud each other. It's just, I don't know how to describe it, but I love it. Right?
It flows. It just flows well.
Yeah, it does. It flows good. To see other Black women and that are empowering, that are doing their thing, and then also want you to succeed. It's not like a competition. We never come at each other like, oh, I'm doing it better. Yep. It's always like, what you doing? Oh, you need help?
Let me repost. Let me share. I know
exactly. Listen, we are all over our social medias. If y'all don't know how to get yourself out there and going, that's one little tidbit we can give you. Help each other on social media. Repost, re-like, hashtag. That's really how you do it. And love on each other. Just show that love. Genuine love. Don't be fake with it. Tweet. Praise the Lord. Y'all know we keep it real on here. Don't be fake with it. Praise the Lord. Keep it. Be real with it. Amen. So, Queenlin, as you might know, we have been celebrating Women's Month all month. And this month is this day is the last day, but of course we as women should be celebrated at all times. Tweet. Mm-hmm. But as I have been honoring Women's Month and doing all these segments, I've been honoring my shero, Miss Sylvia Stokes. She was a mentor to me. She was an amazing woman in the community, an activist, a fighter, mother, you name it, she did it. And she passed away. Actually, her anniversary will be next month. Last year, right in the beginning of COVID. So it really definitely broke my heart. It definitely was devastating, but I remember her trying to do a Women's Month. I remember her always trying to focus on women's issues and encouraging women. And I was a part of one of her sister circle ministries as well. So that's who I'm honoring in this whole month, and I've been honoring. So with that, thank you. With that, Queenlin, I want to ask, who do you honor, or what woman would you like to honor on today? I know you probably have a lot, but if you could say one woman that has inspired you, that you would like to honor, who would that be for today?
Great question. Well, I always think of the women in my everyday life, like my mother, my sister. I feel like I always grew up around women, so it was easy for me to see, strong Black women in my life. One woman in particular I was talking about yesterday to actually one of my students that I'm working with. Her name is Pearl Primus. And a lot of people don't know about her, Dr. Pearl Primus, but she was a dancer and she was a poet. She was an activist. She was a writer, amazing writer. But she was one of the women who helped me to see myself and my profession. We, in our culture, you know, Black folks didn't know of anything called dance movement therapy. However, in our culture and in our families, in our world, we practice these things all the time. We do these things. So Pearl Primus was one of those where, you know, she used her movement to help communities. She used her movement in dance to tell her story. Recently, the Billie Holiday movie that just came out about the song Strange Fruit, she actually choreographed a dance to Strange Fruit. Oh, wow. And similar to how Billie Holiday had a lot of pushback on her song, you know, Pearl Primus had a lot of pushback on her dance, like dancing to the song in the dance world. A lot of people don't talk about her. She's a Black woman who is a big part of our history, but is kind of from popular dance has, you know, not been talked about in history. So she's someone who really inspires me because I see dance as more than performance. It's a way of exploring and expressing how you feel. And getting that message across. So yeah, she's someone that I was just talking about her yesterday. Someone that really inspires me.
Yes, I love it. See, with the guy, I learned something new, and that's good. We need to know about our culture, right? Those
that's right.
Not known to be big, but were big, right?
And there's so many Black women erased from our history. So it's like now we're learning as we go. You know, oh, who's that? Oh, who's this woman?
Oh, who did that? She did.
You know. Folks ain't telling our stories, so you know we gotta hear these women's stories.
Right, exactly. As well as we gotta tell them ourselves.
That's right.
And not let them die. And prayerfully, people will tell ours. Tweet, tweet. When we leave this good old earthly vessel, that
somebody remember me.
Right, exactly. Don't forget me. Right, tweet, tweet. So, as also we want to let you guys know, we're going to just do some conversation, and Queenlin is going to educate us and also drop some nuggets of wisdom about how we can rest and relax with yoga, you know, and what yoga is, things of that nature. And then the second part of this, so I hope you got, like you see, I got my little sweat outfit on, you know, I got my mat ready. As you see, she got her mat ready. We're going to go ahead and do some yoga, y'all, in the second half of this segment this morning. So I hope you guys are ready to stretch. I hope your guys are ready to feel good. Again, if you're streaming with us today, please feel free to drop in the chat a good morning or a smiley face or a wave. Let us know you're watching with us. And if you have questions or comments as we go, also, you know, keep us informed. So, Queenlin, with that being said, when you think of yoga, right? So let me tell you my own thing first. Okay, so years ago, I want to say years ago, right? Because it was a long time ago. When I heard of yoga, I was just like, nah, I'm good, you know, or I seen what it was, or I would like go to the gym and see people doing those classes. And I was like, yeah, I can't do all that. You know, I'm not that flexible. I'm not able to do that. This is the stereotype that I had, right? So I just kept moving, and I saw a lot of the privileged folks, is what we'll call them, tweet, tweet, and not a lot of Black and brown people like myself. So I was like, that must be for them. Like, that's their thing. I'm going over here to Zumba, right? And I'm going to go. Right. Like you said, dance. I don't need to stretch. I need to dance. You know, shake something, you know, twerk something, do something. Right. And that's what I did. And that's what I assumed. But it wasn't until, I want to say 2016, 15, when I lost my job. For 6 months, I was unemployed. And I had to find something to keep my mind sane, right? Because I was starting to just, you know, spiral into this like depression. And, you know, I'm out of maybe 2 years out of grad school, and I'm still trying to figure life out. You know, I'm still a mom. So I went to the gym. I joined a membership because I was like, you know, I can't get this like depressed 15, you know, of being unemployed. So I went to the gym, and I just was there for like 2 hours every day. And I would do anything. I would just make up routines. Especially being prior service. I was like, oh, I can figure this out. It's too easy. So I decided to take a yoga class. I was like, oh, well, I'm here. I got nothing else to do. It was early too, so it wasn't a lot of people in there. So I was like, I won't be embarrassed.
You can have your space, do your thing.
I was like, I won't be embarrassed. Let me go ahead and do this. I was like, I know I can't stretch like that. So I went in there and did it, and I would never forget the instructor. She was a Spanish woman. She was awesome. But I remember it wasn't just so much the movement. I remember when she was talking in this voice, and when we got to the end where you just really relax yourself, how I became so emotional because I never turned my mind off, right? I'm always thinking, what's the next move? What I got to do after this? I'm always on the schedule. But in the space, I didn't realize you had to be like, really quiet. And
yes.
You had to really focus. And I was like y'all, when I say I was boohooing, it was bad. It was like church cry, like ugly cry. And she came to me and was like, it's okay, it's normal. And I was like, I don't know why I'm crying. I was like, I don't know what's going on. And I thought like maybe because of my job situation or life, maybe I'm just emotional. But I feel like that's when I really realized that I don't know what it is that was going on, but that's when I realized I needed yoga. I was like, I don't know what this is or what this woman did, but
I don't know what type of voodoo candle she done lit.
Right. I still struggled on the moves, tweet. But I was like, I need this. So with that, my backstory, as y'all know, because some of y'all might be thinking the same thing, like, yoga, what? No, listen, Queenlin gonna school y'all. We gonna need this. So with that being said, what have you experienced or what have you been trying to let us Black and brown folks know? Like, what is yoga? Why we need yoga? The benefits and things like that nature.
Yes, most definitely. And I think you hit on some of the points. I call it the floating brain. And it's exactly that. Many times we're moving through the world and it doesn't matter what you're doing, what your life is, or what your occupation is. Each and every one of us, we have a routine, right? And many of us, when we're moving through the world, we're moving on autopilot. So, okay, alarm goes off, get up, take my shower, brush my teeth, wash my face, do my hair, do my makeup. All right. Make breakfast for the kids, make breakfast for me. Like we have our routine. And after a while, you move through that routine every single day to the point where you are just moving. You're just going and you're doing. So what does it mean when we have our floating brain that tells us to do things and move through the world, but we forget that this brain is connected to a body? We're not just, floating brains. I'm not a floating brain sitting on the screen with you right now, right? Like my brain is connected to a physical form and a person. And oftentimes when we are in our floating brain and we're getting things done, we forget that, my back is a little sore from that work that I did in the yard yesterday, right? Or I need to really take it easy because I've been having trouble breathing and I've been having these chest pains. Or I have a huge headache, but I can't take off work today. I can't do that. Let me just take this Tylenol and do what I got to do. And so we're programmed in our culture and in our world and society to move in that way. And as a result, we're not tapping into ourselves. We're not taking those times and those moments out of the day, even if it's just for 2-3 minutes a day, to really just be with ourselves. It's a difference between doing and being. And individual who does, they literally, I call them sometimes robots, because it's exactly that. You're good at what you do, you get it done successfully, right? And each task, but then there's no feeling, there's no connection, there's no self in it, right? Sometimes we lose humanity. Sometimes we don't have deeper connections or relationships with folks at work or individuals. There are some days when we're just like, nope, I got this thing to do, right?
Like a robot, like you said.
Like a robot. Versus being when you are doing things throughout the day, but you're also connecting with yourself. And self is also being mindful of, my son isn't talking how he usually talks today. Let me check in and see what's happening here, right? That's self is not really checking in to see
with our kids more than we'll check in with ourselves.
Or
we'll check
and so yoga gives us that moment and that time to check in,
yeah.
to check in with ourselves, to tap in with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's so important. Oftentimes, we see yoga as another act of doing. And you know what? I think that's just a part of our, again, culture. Because there are so many styles and techniques of yoga these days, right? And there are many, especially when you go to the gym, that will teach you fitness, exercise, sweat, move, because that's their style, you know?
Right.
But the style of yoga that I was taught was a little different. And growing up for me, doing yoga was a space of relaxation, tapping in, and mindfulness. Now, not everybody uses it that way. But I like having yoga and I like teaching yoga to folks because that is a moment for me to help people sit in stillness and tap in.
Right.
And then when we sit in stillness, we can move and then go into the stretch and sequencing. But you have to create a space and come into the space before you do or act or move, right? And my last brown skin girl yoga class, I do it every Saturday, 10 o'clock, via Zoom, virtual. But in my last class, I didn't even start. I just said, hey, how folks feeling? What do we need today? And one of the people in the class was like, wait, what? What you mean? Like, what you... And again, I come from a dance movement therapy lens, y'all, so I'm not just going to come into class and push, right? But I said, what do folks need today? Like maybe there's a part of your body where you're feeling something, or maybe that, let's tap in, let's check in. And folks were just like, yeah, you know what? I really need to stretch out my back. And another person was like, you know what? It wasn't until you said something like, my hips, my legs, they definitely need some attention. And the feedback that I got from that yoga class was, thank you for allowing us to tap in, you know? Because folks just come in and they're just ready to go. Like, all right, let's do it. Yoga.
So, right, exactly. So, what would you say when people are looking, especially for us, the Black community and us Black women, when we're looking to do yoga or we're looking to do something different? Should we be looking for instructors who look like us, you know, who are like yourself, or does it not matter? Is it a certain type of just maybe yoga definition or preference we should look for? You know, what should we be looking for?
I think, yes, one, we should be looking for us. People that look like us, people that move like us, move through the world like us. I think also you should be looking for the type of yoga that they do. How do people show up? How do they present themselves? You know, because not all Black folk is kinfolk. Let's be real. Let's just get to that. Let's get that out the way. It doesn't mean that we can't support Black, but also knowing that some Black folks are completely in alignment with the American way of moving in yoga, and they're fine with it, right?
Right.
For me, I certified in Kemetic yoga, and as a result, I have a whole community of Black folks that are in alignment with, you know, uplifting us in our movement, uplifting 4-part breath, which means you're really allowing your breath to lead through the movement and you're not pushing, and like the fitness, make it sweat kind of yoga, you know. So I say, along with finding us, also look at the type of yoga that they do, because there are so many styles and so many ways that people use yoga, and not to say that there's a right or wrong. But if you're looking for rest and relaxation, you want something maybe that could be restorative yoga. It might definitely be certified Kemetic yoga. Just looking for things that show you that the yoga is being used in that way.
Definitely. I want to say good morning to my sister. Good morning, Tanita. Thank you for joining in. So I also want to say, and I want to touch on this piece, and then of course I'm going to let you do your thing. About that part, I know I was saying I was crying like a baby. I did yoga for the first time. I mean, it wasn't with Queenlin, y'all. It was somebody else. But the reason I got so emotional and knowing now how more intuitive and spiritual I am, it was more so because I was allowing my spirit to be able to feel what I was going through. And I quiet my mind. And that's something that we always struggle with, I believe, as Black women. I believe as a Black culture, community in general, we just struggle of turning the mind off, right? And for me, it was that spirituality piece of knowing that I was in this space that was just set for a time for me to reflect. It wasn't a space where I had to be on. It wasn't a space where I had to act a certain way. It wasn't a space where everyone had to be like spiritually minded as myself. It was just a space where I could be in tune with the spirituality that's already within me. And that's what I really loved about yoga. And that's what I've been really into. And I actually tell my families, my patients, even in my job, when they're so stressed from the illnesses of their loved ones or their caregivers, they're overworked. I say, try going for a walk, try doing yoga. I say, you can find anything on YouTube if you can't, really get to a professional. And even my daughter now, she's 11, y'all. She can be doing yoga too, as well. And she was like, that's what I want to do. I said, okay, tweet. But it's just a form like Queenlin. I love how you said that. There's all different forms. It's not a right or wrong one, but it's just a form that it helps you. But today, what we're trying to encourage is that rest and relaxation. As women, even though we've been celebrating all month, we've been busy talking about everything from sex to church, to 3 strikes to gender equality. I mean, we were talking about everything this month on here. I feel like now is the time that we need to rest, right?
That's
rest and relax. And what's a better way but than to do something where our body can be all intuitive? If you could speak to that, and then I'll let you flow. But if you could speak to that point of how imperative or important is it to have yoga in the way where you do it, where our body and our spirit is kind of like moving simultaneously, or is it not? Or
no, definitely. So when I think of Women's History Month, the very first thing that I'm tapping into is also how women hold space in this world that we live in and in this country. I mean, we're always working. We are always the front runners. We are always the space holders. We are always the nurturers. We are the ones who are getting the kids to school. We are, so the role of the woman, the role of the Black woman, right, and how we show up in spaces is deeply rooted all the way back to our ancestors. I mean, think about how our ancestors and our elders, they didn't have time to have breaks. Like, they didn't have permission to rest.
That is true.
And that's what I think of when, and not saying this was your experience, but that's what I think of when I hear people say things like, I just cried, or I just really tapped in. Oftentimes we're tapping into our own stuff, but sometimes you might even be tapping into something that's intergenerational, something that's ancestral. So that's when that spiritual piece comes into play, because when you are allowing that floating brain to connect to the body, like coming back to self, rooting yourself to the here and now. And then 2, once your body's taken care of, you can tap into that spiritual part, that spiritual piece. You could dig a little deeper. I think when we are in that floating brain and we're moving through the world a lot, it's difficult. It's really difficult for us to tap into that spiritual piece.
Right.
You don't have capacity. You're not allowing yourself to have capacity. The awareness is gone. We're not connecting. Technology, social media, oh Lord, I can go for hours on that, right? But there's a disconnect. We disconnect from ourselves, and we disconnect from others. So in that space in yoga, we're giving ourselves permission to tap in on all different levels. And when we can tap in that way, that's when the spirituality comes into play, because now you're being more receptive and open to what spirit has to say, right? You're now being more receptive and open to how spirit can lead you and move you, or in your case, cleanse you, through those tears. So yeah, yoga can help us tap in that way. And for some, yoga comes from a religious thing. I think for me and for many people here in this Americanized kind of way of using yoga, it's not so much as spiritual, right?
Right.
We're really tapping more into, because I hear that all the time, especially from like some of my elders in my family. Well, ain't that Hindu stuff that people? I'm not trying to be up in no yoga space doing all that, right? But I say it to say, and they have every right to feel that way, because it goes back to what you said earlier about how we don't see us, right? We don't see models of us. We don't see models of what yoga can be. And that's because of, you know, the world that we live in. That's very whitewashed, white supremacy, all the things. But, but you know, we can see ourselves, and we can create the practice that we want for ourselves. And it doesn't have to be religious. It can simply just be us tapping in to our inner light and our spirituality and what we need to get out of it. And everyone's different. So, you know,
that is true.
The way that we use yoga can be different too, if we set our intentions that way.
As well as we're in this pandemic, right? As we're still going through of trying to figure out life, trying to figure out what to do. You know, we need those spaces where we can see ourselves, but we can also release, right? We need those spaces where we're able to just take the time for ourselves, like you said, you know, put everything on hold for a minute and do what we need. And listen to our bodies, right? Listen to our minds, listen to our energy, our spirits to say, hey, you need a break. You know, I was talking to one of my families yesterday, and I said, you know, you don't have to be a superwoman in a pandemic. I'm just letting you know that. The reason of the pandemic, if it didn't show you anything, was to know that you can say no, or you can rest, or you don't got to do it all, because tomorrow will come, prayerfully, and it'll still be there.
That's right.
But you might not be there, sweet, if you don't take the time or listen to your body to rest, right? If you don't take the time to do the relaxation. And I also wanted to put out there, yoga can be a good piece for those who can't be as mobile, right? You're not able to do as working out as you used to be. You might, you know, be up in age, or you might have pulled something, or have an injury, or like me, prior service. And, you know, you have those moments where joints and things just hurt and they ache. Yoga is a good way that is, you know, not as stressful. It's not as intense for certain parts of yoga, and then you can really take your time. I love how, you know, in yoga, you don't have to do every move. You know, every move that Queenlin might do, I can say, I can't do that. But I can still be in the space, right? And I can still be in the ambiance to do what they call modified movements. You can do your modified movement, but keep going. I love how they do that now, because I was like, listen, I'm with the crew in the back row, but the older folks, like, I can't do all this. I'm gonna do these modified.
I love it. Sometimes you gotta get your back row yoga and be the best back row yoga you can be, as long as you getting it.
Come on, Jesus, right? Ain't nothing wrong with that. But that's also hopefully encouragement to let you know that this is something that can be short. It can be long. You can still do. And Queenlin, of course, she is out there virtually offering services, which is awesome, to all of us, but mostly for our Black and brown folks as well. And for men too. Don't think you're excluded. You know, men can do yoga. Praise the Lord. Especially athletes,
they sure can.
Football players, but, you know, basketball players, I know a lot of them who do that because they need to be able to be flexible and stretch to get around the court or get up and down the field. So don't think you're excluded, man. We love y'all too. And you can do it together. It could be like a couple thing. Good morning, Mom. I see my mom on. Good morning.
Hey, Mom.
Right. It could be a couple thing as well, you know, or it could be a girlfriend thing. You know, we be getting on Zoom for everything else. Tweet. Call your homegirls and say, girl, we're going to do yoga together on Zoom.
That's right. Right. That's what inspired our Brown Skin Girl Yoga series was, you know, it was just a bunch of us girls doing it. And we was just like, let's just make this, like, people were just like, come on, Queenlin, just make it a class. Just make a flyer or something so we can all sign up. And I was like, y'all ain't said nothing but a thing.
I love it. Right. I haven't been able to partake
y'all ain't said
yet,
nothing but a thing.
I am going to. And that's why I be looking out on her page all the time. I'll be like stalking Queen's page, like, what's our next class? I can sign up. But my homegirl, I know she also was interested in, and she was signing up, and I think she did it. She lives all the way out in Rhode Island, y'all. So it does not matter where you live. It does not matter where you are, especially in 2021. We have learned anything can happen anywhere you are, time zone difference or not.
That's right.
It's definitely amazing. So without further ado, I'm not going to hold up Queenlin anymore because I'm ready to get my yoga on. Tweet.
Ow.
So if you guys got your yoga mats, y'all got your stretch pants on, y'all ready to relax, you are in for a treat. Miss Queenlin is going to take it over, and we're going to go to stretch.
Yes, yes. Most definitely. All right. So for folks, go ahead and come to your mats. We're going to get grounded and centered. Do whatever you need to do in your space just to get yourself ready. I know sometimes it takes a while for us to transition from talking and listening to now doing and acting. I'm going to adjust my camera too so y'all can see me. I'm going to back it up. All right. And if you can, we're just going to start at the top of our mats. All right. I always start with breath. So similar to what we talked about, if all else fails, if you only have 2-3 minutes in your day, you can start with your breath. Okay. And we'll just start with 3 deep breaths, breathing in and out. And you can start with me, or you can start on your own time. But just taking one hand placed on your heart, the other hand on your belly. And take a deep inhale in. And exhale, releasing out. And I'll count 4 for us so we're synchronized. Inhaling in, 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. Inhaling in, 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 1, 2, 3. Last one. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And last time, exhale. Planting those feet, those roots into the soil. I always like to say we're trees, and we're just planting the roots into the soil. Connecting with yourself. Checking in with yourself, seeing where you are today, bringing yourself into the space. We're going to take a deep inhale in. I'm going to bring my arms up and over the head. Shooting that energy through the fingertips, growing taller. And exhale, bringing those arms down. Nice. I'm going to take it to a nice and easy head roll. Stretching through the head, releasing any knots and kinks you might have in the neck, in the shoulders. And when you're ready, reverse. Take it the other way. Lovely. Bringing the head to center. We're going to bring the shoulders up. And allow those shoulders to drop and roll through. We're going to roll through those shoulders. Beautiful. Widening your stance. Bringing those shoulders up one more time. And exhale. Pressing them down. I'm going to take one arm up and over the head. And I'll go to the side so you can see I'm pulling just like this. And make it a gentle pull. Not too hard. But just enough that you can feel that stretch from underneath the armpit all the way down the rib cage. Nice morning stretch. Let's take it to the other side. Taking it in that half moon. Beautiful. Bringing both hands up. And exhale, bringing them down towards our sides. Here we go. I'm going to get, for our women, the hips into play. Bending those knees. And I want you to circle the hips, taking it forward and back. And it might feel a little bit funny. But it's going to feel oh so good for our women. Opening up the pelvis and the hip sockets. Offering up some space in our sacral area. Ooh, and feeling that tailbone. And when you're ready, you're going to come center. We're going to inhale in, bring those arms up and over the head, shooting that energy through the fingertips. We're going to exhale, forward bend down, reaching towards the toes. And if you can't touch the toes, it's absolutely fine. You can take it to the ankles. You can take it to your lower leg as long as you feel that stretch. Inhale, I'm at halfway lift. And exhale, bringing it all the way down, placing your palms on top of the mat. I'm going to lift my right foot, and I'm just going to step it back, nice and easy. Inhaling in, exhale, I'm going to bring that back knee down, rest it on top of the mat. So right here, if you want to put a pillow under your knee, you can put a blanket under your knee, whatever feels good. But the purpose is just for us to take care of ourselves. So don't overdo. We still want to stretch, but we don't want to take out our joints. All right? But placing those hands on top of the leg, inhaling in. And exhale, we're just going to shift our weight forward, stretching through that hip. Keeping that front leg at that 90-degree angle. Inhale, opening up through the chest and the sternum. And exhale, you can keep it open here, or you can take your head back. It's up to you. But we're opening up the heart. So for our women, I want you to just send some positive energy, some love to yourself today. What is a beautiful love letter that you want to write to yourself, you want to send to your heart, to affirm yourself, to love yourself as you start your morning? Bringing that head up, bringing the chest to center. And then exhale, we're going to bring both hands down. Coming to all fours. And nice and easy, I'm going to press my hips back. Just get a nice stretch in that lower back. Beautiful. Taking a deep inhale in. And then taking that stretch just a little further in that lower back. Beautiful. Inhale, I'm going to come to all fours. And I'm just going to switch my legs. So I'm going to bring my right foot forward this time. My left foot was forward the last time. Inhaling in, we're going to wrap those arms around. And exhale, bring those arms up. Nice and easy. Always leading with that breath. Inhale. Pressing those palms together as we exhale, left over right, pressing down on top of the leg. And here we go again. We're just going to inhale in and exhale, press those hips forward. Get a nice and beautiful stretch, making sure your front leg is at 90 degrees. And exhale, you can open up through the sternum and deepen in that stretch by leaning a little back. If you really want to go for it, you can take your head all the way back. It's up to you. Make sure we're still supported here. And remember to send that love letter to your heart. What do we need today? Receive, receive, receive. This is gratitude. This is love. This is affirmation for ourselves in this moment. Inhale, bringing ourselves to center. And exhale, just bringing that chest down, resting both hands on top of the mat. Beautiful, ladies. I'm going to bring my foot right back to the mat. Coming back to all fours. Inhale as we exhale. I'm just going to gently bring my hips back and stretch those arms, pressing the palms into the mat. Beautiful. And then inhale, coming back up. We're going to reach one arm up, a beautiful stretch all the way up, extending and opening up through the back. And as we exhale, we're going to thread this arm through. So we're going to thread it right underneath that other arm. And you can even rest that shoulder on top of the mat. But our purpose is to relax and get a beautiful stretch in the back. Nice. Inhale, bringing that arm up. Exhale, bring that arm down. And then other side. Inhale, bring that arm up, hand up. Nice, beautiful stretch and reach. And let's thread it on through. Get a nice stretch in your back. And if this feels like a lot, you can always put a pillow right here underneath your shoulder. You can also bring the hips back just a little bit, slightly. It's up to you. Nice. We're going to undo that thread, reach up. And then exhale, place those hands down. Nice. So here, you can either walk your hands forward, or you can sit back on your hips, but we're just going to find a way to get to our back. So rolling on down. And we want to allow the back to be flat on top of the mat. We want to rest and relax those legs. You can have the balls of the feet resting on top of the mat, or you can just press all the way through and just stretch the legs out. It's up to you. Go for what feels good. But just taking a deep inhale in through the nose. And exhale, releasing out through the mouth. Again, taking a deep inhale in through the nose. This time when we exhale, I want you to give your weight into the mat, into the floor, into the earth. Very little effort to hold or grip. You can fold those arms over your belly button, or you can allow those palms to lay out, arms out to the side. It's up to you. Last one, deep inhale in. And exhale. Breathing into that stomach, into that belly button, into the spine. Very little effort to hold or grip. Allowing yourself to simply be in the space. And all you have to do right now in this moment is focus on your breath. Continue breathing. But every time that you exhale, I want you to release any last minute tension, places you might be holding or gripping physically in the body. If it's your shoulders, you might want to create some tension on that inhale. And then exhale, pressing those shoulders down, right? If it's in the legs, you might want to create a little bit of tension in your legs. Inhaling in. And exhale, stretching that tension out. But just using your breath to release and let go of any knots, kinks, places we're holding, gripping, feeling tension, soreness, stress on the body. Knowing that for this short moment of your day, you have permission. I repeat that again. For this short moment of your day, you have permission to breathe, to relax, and to be in stillness. And every time that we exhale, not only releasing physically in the body, but I want you to mentally release and let go of anything that does not serve you in this moment. Any thoughts, feelings that might be ruminating. Maybe there was something that happened at work yesterday that you still just kind of haven't let go of, right? This is now your space and time, permission to release and let that go. Know that we're serving ourselves, that we're honoring ourselves by allowing that exhale to help us release so that we can start anew today on this day. And every time that you inhale, setting intentions for how you want this day to be. We know what we don't want, right? We're releasing and letting go of all the things we don't want. But what intentions are we going to set today for ourselves? And be clear about the intention that you want for your day. We talked earlier about how Black women are always the space holders, right? That we're always the ones who are creating space, holding space, standing up, leading. So in this moment, I want you to honor yourself by simply setting intention for how you want to serve yourself today. Not thinking about anybody else, not thinking about your to-do list, but on that inhale, honor yourself today by just setting intention for what you want today in this moment. And all together, we'll take 3 deep inhales and exhales with this intention, releasing what does not serve us on that exhale, and receiving our intentions, how we're going to honor ourselves, ladies, on that inhale. Here we go. And I'll count for 4. Deep inhale in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. Inhaling in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Be clear about your intentions. Exhale. 1. Release. 2, 3, 4. All the things that do not serve us. Knowing that yesterday was yesterday, knowing that we have no control over the future tomorrow, but today in this moment, we have control over our breath and ourselves. And just allowing yourself in this moment to start anew, to set intention, to reset. And I'm hoping that this relaxation has helped us to really tap into ourselves today. And when you're ready, we're just going to slowly roll on to one side. It doesn't matter which side. But just taking your time since we've been laying here for a while. Oh, you might want to shift a little bit. You might want to move a little bit just to get yourself into this side position. That's absolutely fine. Wiggling the toes, moving the fingers, shifting the hips. But when you're ready, you'll take that top hand, that top arm, and we're just going to press into the earth. Inhaling in and exhale, just slowly peeling yourself up off of the ground and coming back to a seated position. And I'm going to come close so I can be close to y'all. But take your time. Deep breath is key. Slow is key. And we'll take one breath all together one last time. We're just taking a deep inhale in. Remembering our intentions that we set for the day, how we're going to move through the world, how we're going to continue moving one day at a time. And exhale, grounding and centering yourself. Remember, we're trees. We're just planting our roots into the soil. Remembering that you can continue to breathe your own time, your own rhythm throughout the day, even if it's just a minute to peel away. Bathroom break. I always call it the bathroom break or bathroom stall breath. But it's true. Even if it's just for a moment, remember that you have your breath. Allow it to ground you, to center you, to bring you back to your intention for the day. And I hope that you move with peace, with love, with light, and with gratitude. And I know this was just a little snippet. I went a little quicker, but you know, in a whole hour yoga class, we would move a lot slower. We'll have more time.
No, that was amazing. Listen, I was over there like, let me not fall asleep. As I was getting into it, girl. But it was good. It felt good. I hope you guys feel good. I felt good. Again, it just felt good to relax, take that moment to really just be into ourselves. So I thank you so much for this because I know I needed it. I hope y'all did too out there. Who are watching with us and who watched the replay. I hope you enjoyed that. Queenlin, as we're ending, if you can let them know where they can find you or reach you on what platforms.
Yeah. So my website is www.bodyverse.org. I'm on Instagram. I'm a big Instagram girl. So right. You can add me Bodyverse Wellness. That's body BODY verse BERSE wellness. And I'm also on Facebook, but I don't really do much on Facebook. But if you just need to find me, I'm Lindsay Michelle on Facebook.
Right, sweet. But we can find you though, and you do offer services. Do you do one-on-ones and groups, or is it just group only?
With currently right now with the pandemic, I'm doing one-to-ones. I'm doing a lot of one-to-one coaching, and I incorporate yoga, Thai body massage, and dance movement therapy within the one-to-one coaching. But I also have my Brownson Girl yoga group that happens every Saturday, 10 a.m. It's virtual via Zoom. If you go on my website, you can definitely find a way to register, or my Instagram, you can find a way to register. And that's also a group space that I've been offering right now.
Oh, good. Okay. Right. So we can go ahead and find you anywhere we need to, right?
Anyway. And if you have, a space where you want to have a person to facilitate a group, I'm a great facilitator, keynote speaker. I love doing all those things because I love just talking about mind-body connection and how we can tap into that wellness. So please feel free to reach out if you ever want to have me come into your spaces.
Sweet. Listen, we'll get it together. Amen. Is there anything you'd like to close us out with? I also want to say thank you to everyone for joining in, tuning in, those who watch the replay. This will be shared on my page. You can find it on my YouTube channel as well. I have an Instagram as well, Harvesting Ministries, all three entities. If you ever want to reach out for me or for Queenlin, I'm sure you can do that. We have an open door policy. You just, hey, how you doing? DM, inbox, and if we can help, we definitely will. And if we can, I'm sure we know someone who knows someone.
Yeah. We always have a network of folks that do something. If we don't do it, somebody else does.
Well, sweet. Definitely we have those as well. And I also would like to say I will be back with you guys again on Friday. Instead of Saturday, I lost my area. Instead of Saturday, I'm going to be doing Good Friday service. Amen. Because we're in Holy Week. So I have another special guest coming up. So make sure you tune in for that. I have my friend, Reverend Ryan Pickard, who will be with me, and we're talking about grief and the cross. Amen. We gonna talk about it. Tweet. As we are celebrating Holy Week. So please tune in for that at 7 a.m. on Friday as well. So, and if you would like to sow a seed in our ministry, my Cash App is on there, as well as Queenlin. Her Cash App is there too. If this touched you or you felt some type of release, of course, I believe spiritually, you sow into those who are able to sow into you spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Amen. So, Queenlin, if you would like to close us out with any affirmation or words of wisdom or nuggets that continue us on this restful Wednesday, because we're going to rename today. It's Restful Wednesday.
I think I'm picking off of how you started. I guess I'll make it full circle. I am light. Yeah. So remembering the light within you and remembering that you are in control of your breath, you are in control of how you move through the world. So no matter what happens in the world around you, continue to move in your light.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a good Wednesday. Restful. Wednesday.
Yes.
See you back, guys, on Friday.
See you.